Hey, it's Rob. Welcome to another video. Today we are going to be going over the Spoilboard. There's nothing really to show as far as the CAM program, but I will say that this is actually my first CAM program that I ever wrote. And in this video I've actually managed to catch almost every single step that's involved in using the CNC. Got a couple of notes here to help me so I don't lose anything through while we go through this. You'll see that I use a pendant. Super important. If you don't have a pendant, you're going to be going back and forth between the computer, laptop, or tablet, or whatever you have. I just have like a super cheap tablet. I actually kind of regret that I didn't get something with a slightly bigger screen. The printing on it is so small that sometimes I have a hard time seeing it. So today when I went to make this video, I actually broke the card reader on it. I think one of the pins somehow got pushed back inside of it, so now it no longer works. But luckily there's a USB port, and I have a card reader through a USB port that I was able to still capture it. So now I'm using like literally every single port on the thing. So most of the, let's see, what else do we got here? So every once in a while, let's just start off with hardwood is way better for a spoil board than what I'm using here, but the cost obviously is a lot more. This is pretty cheap wood, and so that's something I just wanted to note. When I redo the spoil board, once it gets to a certain height, I'll take wood filler and fill the holes as well as I can, because I'm reusing programs that have pins into the spoil board, and I don't want to have it end up just by chance right next to another pin and then be loose. So I'll take wood filler, shove it into the holes as well as I can, let it dry, sand it off, and then I'll glue, just with white glue, a new piece of spoil board. I can usually use a 1/4 inch piece, and then just shove a whole bunch of things on top of it to hold it down flat. And then the first, you'll see as we go through this, it's pretty messy, but the first spoil board run when it's brand new and completely uneven, it's a nightmare. I end up having to vacuum all around the floor, around the CNC and everything. So I've always had a thing for building things, and I was really happy when I got the CNC, although I wasn't really happy with the CNC itself. So literally the first thing I did after I got this was rip it all apart. And I noticed on the last couple of videos, my first video I've got a lighting system underneath of the CNC that's just a strip of white LEDs and down one side. The first video, it was too bright, everything else was too dark. The next video I did after that, I left it off and it was too dark. And so before we can continue on with the Cybot series, I am going to take the CNC apart, and we are going to add a voltage regulator with an adjustment knob on the front of the panel, so that we can get the lighting set so that it works properly with the film. Without the film, I like it like as light as it can get. Like I'm not bashful with the light. That's why I put all the lighting that's on there. The more light, the better for me. I mean, my eyes have never been great since I was a kid. They're certainly not getting any better now. So at this point, we're just doing the Z-axis. On the pendant, you have controls for the different axes, and there's actually 6 different axes. I only have 4 axes on this CNC, and then that's on the left knob, and on the right knob you have speed control for continuous, And you also have a step control for 1 millimeter, 0.1, 0.01, and blah, blah, blah. And so you're able to make really fast movements and really concise movements on this thing. And when I originally got the CNC, it had just the super basic stepper motors in it. I had a lot of problems with it missing steps, and I was going through so much carbon fiber, and I was so frustrated. I'll probably end up explaining it in more detail at some point, but needless to say, it went through a series of upgrades to what it is now. And the steppers that I'm using now have encoders, so there's no loss of steps at all. In fact, the CNC will go way faster than anything you'll ever see me using it on here. But literally, if I make it go any faster, because I just have a really not super great banquet table that it's sitting on, it will literally shake the whole table back and forth as it's milling, which it looks like the thing's going to collapse. So I just kind of toned it down for that. What else have we got here? Oh, yeah, I do. If you guys are going to get into any of this, I don't know. I'm just a novice too. I've literally had the CNC for not even a year now. And before that, I'd never used CNC, never done anything much with 3D modeling. I'm new to all of it, but there is definitely a level of care that you need to do, and I would say particularly with this bit, like these wings that I'm not sure how they're held onto this, but if they ever flew off, and the thing is running at 10,000 RPM, so it would probably hurt, and you certainly want to have your eye protection and stuff on when you're using this. So anyway, just getting back to the CNC. When I got it, it had just literally a circuit board like that big in it for the main brain. So the first thing I replaced was that. I'm using a smooth stepper, Ethernet based smooth stepper. And then the next problem I had with it after that was there was a lot of interference. There was no opto-isolators at all. So all the wires that are running next to each other inside of these conduits make a huge influence on the low voltage signals going into the control device. So the next thing I did after that was put opto-isolators. After that, I still wasn't happy with the stepper motors and how they were missing steps. It was really frustrating because I would mill something, and if anything happened, like if anything at all happened, or sometimes just nothing at all, it would just do it, and it would miss a step. I would flip the part over, and the countersink would no longer line up with the hole. It was just so frustrating. So I got the stepper motors with the encoders in the back, and it's a night and day difference on it. Then I replaced the power supply in it from 24 to 48 volts. That made a big difference. Plus this power supply, amazing. When I was hooking it up, I accidentally had one of the stepper drivers hooked up backwards, the power supply to it. And normally that would be a fry. That would be you're done. I turned it on. The power supply wouldn't even turn on. It was just like nothing. It's like it wasn't even getting power. And I thought, oh, this is weird. So I shut it off again, and I started looking. And sure enough, it had detected that there was a short because it was hooked up backwards on that one thing. That would have normally killed stuff. I fixed it, turned it on. It was perfectly fine. Really super impressed with the power supply. So I also have a separate 9-volt power supply built into this for the opto-isolators. And at one point I added all the LEDs on the front of it for a status. There's also a 12-volt, there's a power supply on the back of it that runs through a relay with a timer. So the cooling system, the liquid cooling system comes on automatically after 30 seconds of the machine running, and then when it shuts off it will stay on for another 30 seconds. So on this part here, I'm kind of like the old man who's mowing his lawn. I'll go over it one way with the electric, and then I'll go over it the other way, and then the last time I'll use the push mower and go over it diagonally. It's pretty funny. So, and then I'm just wiping all the dust off, like I'm trying to get it completely dust free. And so literally, that is the end of the video. I hope you liked the video. If you're liking these videos, I'm planning on doing more stuff than just I'm planning on doing anything that I do. It may not have anything to do with drones even, but that is my dream of flying though. So I want you guys to have a great day, and if you're getting anything out of these videos, feel free to subscribe. And until then, we'll catch you next time. See ya.